welcome everyone to the Shrewsbury Public Library Board of Trustees meeting. I am Nancy Gilbert and I'm filling in for Deb LeBeau this evening. So we will get started. Our first order of business will be to review and act to approve the minutes of the March 22nd meeting. If anyone has had a chance to look at those, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. And then we're going to skip right down and get to the business here. We're going to skip down to personnel, and we're happy to have a new library technologist. So
Yes.
I'll let you introduce.
Okay, I'm very happy to introduce Dana Volke, our new technology specialist.
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Do you want to say a few words about
please tell us
yourself?
about
Yes.
yourself.
All right, sure. So I'm a lifelong Shrewsbury resident. I grew up down in the other end of town, right where the Westboro train station is, just a head down the street. And my wife is also from town. We have a little girl who's almost 2 years old who comes here for book beats and wiggle words and all that. And so my career has always been in community media. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Shrewsbury Media Connection.
Yes.
I've been a volunteer and producer over there for about 15 years, and I was on their advisory board for about 6 years. And I worked, went to film school, Fitchburg State. Did my co-op at WBZ, worked on Phantom Gourmet and a couple other cool things. And since then, I've worked at 3 other community media stations, similar to Shrewsbury Media Connection. So my last foray into business was the last 6 years I've been at the town of Northborough, which is also a municipal entity over there. You know, I do mostly a lot of production, AV stuff, a little bit of IT stuff, and you know, Priya and the gang, we're looking for somebody who's been in the municipal realm, understands a lot of you know, modern technology, communications, all that kind of stuff, and I guess I just fit the bill. So here I am.
Sure sounds
Here I
like
am.
it. Sounds
So,
great.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Dana. We're delighted. We've been looking for just the right person, and you sound like that person.
Super. Thank you. I hope I continue to fit the bill.
Yeah.
For you.
And you love the community. That's quite obvious.
Exactly.
I
Even
know.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great.
So yeah.
Excellent.
Great.
So thank you. So you can now go home to your 2-year-old.
Last Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a good week, so yeah. I'm
Really
sorry.
new.
Well, I'm sorry.
I said you can now go home to your 2-year-old.
That's the plan.
There you
That's the plan. She should be eating dinner right now.
Oh,
and I'll be
well
home
then
just in
give
time to
her
put to
a
bed.
couple more minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure, who knows, maybe I'll be early enough to give her a bath too, because she's probably gonna need it. So,
All
so,
right.
Great. All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for coming and
All
good to
right,
meet you.
I'm right upstairs, right behind the reference desk, or I'm usually hopping around, so stop on by and come see me, okay?
We'll do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Have a good night.
All right. Well, we'll come back to personnel, but we'll
Yeah.
try to follow the agenda here. So we have the director's report. So we will turn that over to you, Priya.
Okay, I sent a copy of this to everyone, so if you have any questions, you know.
Curious to know how many people were there in the Holy Story Time and also Ask a Muslim Anything with Robert Azzi?
Okay, Holy Story Time, I am not exactly sure, maybe, was it in the morning or, depends on what time of the day it was. Morning times, we have good attendance, I don't know. I'm not sure of the exact number of people for the Holy Story Time, because it's not one of our regular story times, right? We have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for specific ages, and people are used to that. So we have very good attendance for those. These extra ones, it depends on the time of the day, when it's offered, and if people are available. So I honestly don't know how many attended that. Ask a Muslim Anything, I was here for that program. There were about half a dozen people. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, we were expecting.
But I'm glad we're offering such.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Such programs on religious diversity.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's very
The-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, though this month we had the Ramadan story time last week during vacation week, and that was very well attended. There were about 60 people in the children's program room, adults and kids. We count everyone in a family. So that was very well attended.
Nice.
Good. Anything else you want to highlight?
Yes. I would like to highlight the meeting that I attended, the conference that I attended with the MBLC. It was a graduate fellowship studies by a person who's a librarian and doing graduate studies. And her topic was, can public libraries help bridge divides? Public libraries as third spaces for civic dialogue and collaborative empowerment. And she reached out to me and said, I've heard that Shrewsbury is doing a lot of work with civic engagement and social justice and all that. And I said, yes. And we have a grant for the Civic Hub project. So, I did attend that. And that was a very interesting discussion. And there were people from around the country. As a grad student, I think they have to, I'm not sure how so many people were attending. It was on Zoom. But a lot of interesting perspectives from around the country. People talking about how a library is, the perfect place for fostering civic engagement. Public and academic librarians were there at that meeting.
So once again, Shrewsbury Public Library got to strut its stuff to the rest of the country. How
Yes.
true. Hats off to us. So.
What did she mean by third spaces?
So your home, she described it as your home being your first space, place of work as the second space, and what is your third space where you feel safe and where you can have discussions. It could be at your book club, it could be at a pub, or whatever. But library as the third space was the focus of her discussion.
Excellent. Okay.
I didn't attend, but those programs that were offered at Tewksbury Library looked good.
Yes. The Tewksbury Library, yes.
The partnership.
Yes. I did not attend those either. But yeah, they offer great programs, and we
They do.
always hop on with them when it's possible. Yeah, and we offered 2 programs with the Shrewsbury Library in UK. So one was Caldecott. They had.
How did I miss that?
I know. I was thinking of you. I should have sent you an email or something
I
before.
was like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Leonard Marcus is wonderful, so what a fabulous program.
And he's an American, but he was
Yes.
there in their
Oh.
library and he was talking. So it was really very
Wow.
interesting. Yeah, he
Oh, that's
was
fun.
there in person, but we partnered and they offered it on Zoom.
That's great.
So yeah, that was one, and we had another one with them. Oh, the book discussion. So we did Eric Kleinenberg's Palaces for the People. So Mike reached out to them and said, would you be interested in having this as a book club book in your town? And they hadn't heard of the book because the British title was different. And I don't remember
That
what
happens.
it was now. Yeah, so we reached out to Kleinenberg and said, your book is not available in England, and he said, this is the title. So then they invited their book group, and we had a joint book discussion.
That's great.
Yeah,
Across the pond.
across the pond. Yeah.
Yes. And I believe that we accept your director's report, so a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Priya. And you have a report of some programs and services offered in March.
Yes. I would like to mention the seed lending. You know, the seed lending, we started, it was advertised for, I think, March 21st, the first day of spring. And there was a line of people waiting to pick up the seeds that day in the morning. We had said at 9 o'clock, so people were lining up. And in 2 days, all the seeds packets were gone.
Wow.
That it was really wonderful to see that, you know, people want us to do things like this. Next year, I think we'll request the Friends for more money
I was
to
gonna
get,
say, we
to
need
be
more
able
seeds,
to, you know, get
obviously.
more
Yeah.
seeds.
And that's
Yeah.
probably be a good opportunity also to, the Library of Things that has some gardening
Yes,
implements. So
absolutely.
that would be a nice thing to sort of tie it together, even if it's
Yeah.
pictures of
Right.
what we have.
Right.
Yeah, did you know we have
Yeah.
these, yeah.
Yeah,
A reminder.
Mhm.
a reminder, yes. Actually, on Saturday, Selco is doing Earth Day on the Common, and we are going to be displaying some of the items in our Library of Things, and we'll have lists of all the items
That's great.
in the various
Yeah.
categories.
'Cause
Yeah.
not a lot of people are aware of what we have here
Yes.
to lend.
Though I think the new website might lend itself
Yes.
to more people discovering
Right.
stuff. Yeah, the meeting room is now being booked by the community also, not just our program, so that's getting busy too, which is good. And the story walk has been launched in the town center.
Yeah,
A
I
new
saw that.
story walk in the town
Yeah.
center.
That's nice.
So we're partnering with businesses. So the story, you can see the last few pages are here. So it starts
Oh, yeah. Where does it start?
at the Shrewsbury Country Shop.
Mhm.
And then you go to Amici's
Yeah.
and what is the Shrewsbury Pizzeria.
Mhm.
And then you go across the street to Town Cleaners, Awesome Nails, and then you come back to the library.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
great.
And
Yes.
the library, come on in and
Exactly.
keep reading.
And it's nice for local businesses because they're getting, they're getting that exposure
Right.
to people who may not necessarily walk around, so.
Right, yeah.
That's great. And is the Lake Street Park, is that also still
Yes.
maintaining that?
Oh, yes, yeah. That, I think, has become almost a permanent fixture. That's very,
That's great.
yeah, very popular. We'll have to see how this one is received by the community. We may have to tweak some things, but we're very happy that it's
That's
launched.
nice.
Yeah. If we could do something about the traffic, make it easy to cross the street,
know.
that
True.
would be just
Yeah.
wonderful.
For sure. Okay. Anything else to add on that topic? No?
No?
Okay.
Nancy, you had mentioned the possibility of just a thank you of some sort
To the businesses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, do something.
And that was, the Friends, provided funding for that.
Friends provided.
So,
funding.
yeah, so I thought that it would,
On
well, it
behalf-
could certainly come from the
Okay,
trustees.
okay,
There's
but
no
that-
question about, yeah,
But, yeah, we could do that from the Friends too.
yeah, yeah, that's what I thought,
Okay.
just to say thank you and,
Sure.
Yeah,
show our appreciation for their support.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the STCA,
Right.
Shrewsbury Town Center Association.
Right.
Because I've mentioned it so many times at their meetings.
I know, yeah. So, good. Okay. Moving on, financial and legislative, do we have, we've got a year-to-date report for you?
Yes. Yeah, we are on track with just almost 2 months left for the fiscal year. I think we're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
library materials, we've spent 85.5%, which is right on target.
That's great. Sure we can finish that last 15% without any difficulty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it is good.
Okay, and does that require I think we don't need a,
I just have one small question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other than library materials, can these accounts, can funds be moved around at all from?
It can be adjusted within, I mean, if you go
Within those-
over and one, you can.
Okay, that's exactly
yeah,
my question.
Right, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think the salaries and wages might be separate, and then,
Okay,
you know,
that would make sense.
operational expenses and supplies and stuff,
Okay.
yeah.
all right, then why don't we, Priya, why don't you talk about the salary raises?
Yes, so I had discussed the salary range of the professional associate position with the town manager and explained, you know, how we've been looking, posted that position, and one of the factors might be that it's not competitive enough, that we're not able to attract good talent for the vacant position, etc. So I researched the salaries for this position in other libraries. Professional associate, whether it's reference librarian or technology librarian, similar responsibilities are, the people in this position are in charge at nights and weekends, so they have supervisory responsibilities. So I compared the salaries that have been of positions that have been posted right now in MBLC. So 5 or 6 libraries, and shared it with the town manager. And he looked at the comparative chart, and he agreed that the starting salary that we were offering was not high enough. Our range is very good, but the starting salary at the bottom is not, not competitive enough. So he approved, so I mentioned to him that we have 3 other positions, with the same salary. So if we are going to offer a new person a higher range or higher starting salary, we should also make sure that the people in that position right now are receiving.
Are compensated.
Yes, are compensated well. So he agreed immediately, and he approved raising the salaries of the current employees in that category by 2%, effective immediately. So he didn't
That's
even say we have
great.
to wait till July. So
Great.
that
great.
was approved.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, yeah.
So that doesn't have to go before town meeting?
No,
Like
I
he
think
has
looking
some-
at the budget, looking at our budget itself, fiscal year 22, the last 4 months, we've not had anyone in those 2 positions, the digital
So we haven't
services.
been
So we have the
paying them.
surplus. So we calculated all that, and we said we can afford it right now. And I had also asked him about increasing page salaries, and this, again, when we had talked about the budget proposal, and he said he would consider that. So I reminded him of that, and he agreed, he approved that raise also, effective
Great.
immediately. So it's $15 an hour now for pages, which
That's
is,
great,
yeah,
yes.
which is really, really good. So those are the 2 positions that he approved a raise immediately.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I mean, that could be one of the factors for the applicant pool being slim.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, this particular position has been difficult to fill, but it just seems more than usual this
Yeah.
time. So posting the position again, and we will see.
Excellent. Okay, facility, equipment, and grounds.
Facility, the floor in the automated handling area, where the
Mhm.
stuff machine is, we had to move all of that stuff, and the public buildings, they waxed and polished the floor. So they said that they hadn't done it for so many years, and wanted to do it. So I said, okay. So we moved all the bins last Friday, and took them about 6 hours for it to dry and all that, but
That's good.
it's sparkling clean now.
Sorry, what floors were it?
The floor of that room where the automated handling system is,
Oh,
the
okay.
returns and all that. It's-
Okay. And I'll hopefully not beat a dead horse, but I'd still love to see a light
I know.
on the Shrewsbury Public Library sign
Yes.
that faces Main
I
Street.
know, I have told Keith, and I think he also knows. He says, "Oh, yes, we have to get that done."
Every time I come at night, I think, I can't even see that sign. Good thing I
Yeah.
know this is the library.
Plus, you could use
But
a
this-
solar
that
light.
site's lit though, right?
Yeah, but not the one that's
Okay.
over on Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, where, near the children's
Right.
courtyard.
Funny that we did one.
Well, I think this one was added later.
This was added
This
later.
was added later.
This was, the seal was added
Yeah.
much later.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, just a solar light probably.
Yeah,
Would be easy
yeah,
to
solar
install
light,
and,
right.
Mm.
Yeah, which wouldn't be a big investment,
right.
so. Okay, thank you, and we'll move on to gifts and grants,
No new updates.
okay?
I'm sorry, can I interrupt, because I don't
Mm.
think we did, approve the financial,
Does the year-to-date, does that have to be
Year-to-date
approved?
report?
yeah,
Yeah, I think.
Does it need to be?
I,
don't
we
think
went
we've
back
done
and looked at the
year-to-date before.
minutes.
But,
I was looking.
all right, we'll do it anyway, shall we?
When in doubt.
Yeah,
A
just
motion
in
to
case.
approve the year-to-date report.
So moved.
Second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We've done it.
Mhm.
Thank you for that reminder, though. Okay, so back to personnel, and we just met Dana, which was great. We're
Yeah,
very happy to have him on board. And then we have, from personnel, we have the director's goals for 2022. Is that right?
It's calendar year 2022.
Okay,
It's,
that's right, that's right.
Yeah.
And we
The personnel committee had
had already approved that.
had
yeah.
already seen my
Yes.
goals and objectives, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to share it with
Yes,
everyone.
that's great.
Okay.
I don't think that requires any further action, but.
Yeah, but
on
if you
this
have any
for the
questions, you
board,
can
yeah.
ask me.
What's the status of the consultant?
So I've reached out to a couple, and I spoke informally to one person, but she has to give me the quote and stuff,
Okay.
the formal thing. And the timeline, I've given myself a, really long time period. It shouldn't take that long, so even if we are, a bit delayed in
Going
one or
into-
two steps, it's fine. It should all work out. Yeah.
Yeah, and Priya is definitely on top of this. She reminds us when it's time to do a particular action. So she keeps us in line, so we don't drop the ball on any of this. So thank you, Priya.
You're welcome.
Okay, Shrewsbury Public Library Foundation, I guess I'll comment on that. The foundation is in process of looking for speakers for our Distinguished Speaker Series, which we launched a couple of years ago. And right now, we have the good fortune of actually having two possibilities, very strong possibilities. And I'm not sure that at this point can we share that, or should we
think
wait?
we should wait till it's confirmed.
Anyway, but rest assured that both of these programs, one would be in September and the other would be in November. I think the community would be very, very happy and interested in what the foundation will offer.
You're such a tease.
We're just gonna
Right.
tease you.
Yeah, but you don't wanna have any problems with it.
No, that's
so-
right, we don't,
Yeah.
we don't wanna spill the beans too early. But in any case, the goal is to make the community more aware of the foundation and how important it is to support it. And it does it does provide things beyond what the Friends do, which is more of a day-to-day sort of endeavors. We're looking ahead at future possibilities for the library and needs that are not covered by the town budget. So that's why we're anxious to get things up and running and start getting more support, financial support from the community. So it's one way we're doing it, and we're looking at many other things today. In fact, the MBLC, the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, had a program today specifically for foundation members, and both Raghu and I attended that, so it was very informative. So, and that's going to be I think a monthly or a bi-monthly program. So it's nice to share that information. As libraries, we're not in competition with each other. So, we can just say, oh, how did you do that? And nobody feels like they're giving away secrets. So it's a very nice program.
Yeah. And we have our 2 new members on board.
We do, yes, and they attended our first meeting. This board approved Deb Delgado and Jenny Wong, and they came to our first meeting. So we're very happy to have them on board. So, all right, Friends of the Library.
Don't know if I have any new updates from the Friends. The summer reading program has been approved.
Right.
I mean, the prize, what has been approved for the summer reading? The carnival,
Month.
actually, the kickoff.
That's right.
Sorry.
Kickoff. Yep.
The summer reading kickoff is going to be on June 23rd, and the children's librarians and adult services librarians are planning activities and games, and not as fancy a cookout as we had before, but something ice cream is
Scaled down a
being
little.
planned. Yes, scale down, food scale down,
But still in person. So,
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, that's
yeah.
nice.
So that was approved at the last Friends Board meeting.
And the film, did we talk about the film, the film series I guess we haven't discussed that
Not
yet, but we're
yet,
hoping
yeah.
to reinstate that
Oh, nice.
in next winter, next February, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna move along to policies, and Priya did send us along.
Yeah, there are not too many edits. It's just that some of the waiver form for the Library of Things policy and the agreement that had to be signed for the hotspots, it was a little clunky, so we just streamlined it and made it, easier for people to read and just check boxes and put a signature. It actually required 5 times for them to write their names in the waiver form. And all these years we've been doing it, but our new reference librarians, I think sometimes it needs new eyes to look at something.
That's right.
They read that, Jess and Amanda, they read that and they said, can we simplify this? I said, I think we can. So it's just 5 check boxes and then a signature. And so it's just minor changes, all of them in the forms that people have to submit when they borrow these items.
For the Wi-Fi hotspot lending policy, that line above the highlighted line, is that a cross-out?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that
okay.
would be crossed out.
Right.
It used to be, given to the technical services department, now it is the reference department. It's just a minor internal thing,
Mhm.
change.
Yep.
It does not affect the patrons who borrow the stuff. Yeah, so people do have to go to the reference desk to borrow a hotspot or the Library of Things materials. So those are the changes.
Okay.
Laptop use policy, we made it consistent with the hotspot use policy
Right.
and said the 30 days, So
when-
3 policies and changes in the edits in the waiver and user agreement.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to approve those policy changes.
I move that we accept the policy changes.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Excellent.
Purnima, did you have any specific question about the hotspot
I
policy?
could not read what it was, so I
Okay.
just started writing on a separate piece of paper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did compare the two,
Yeah.
and we have covered all of that, yeah.
Is the hotspot, can it be activated outside of the country?
So it depends on the network. So we, currently, the hotspot that we are loaning uses Sprint network. So if that works in a foreign country, then it would work. So it's like that.
Okay, I'm just asking because it might just be extra charge on the library if people are using it outside of the country.
It may not just work, I think, if they use it outside the country. And they are going to change it from Sprint to T-Mobile, I heard. So, yeah, I don't know if patrons have borrowed it and taken it
I'm taking it
abroad.
out. I don't think so, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we haven't heard anyone say it's not working.
Was there any experience of anybody misusing the hotspot ever?
I don't think so. I mean, sometimes it'll come back with things to be updated in it, or, the regular maintenance, but, no,
Okay.
not abusing it.
Okay, we are going to move on to miscellaneous. Approval of the sale of books
Yes, so we
for
will
the
be-
author showcase.
Right, so that's the same day as the kickoff for the summer reading, June 23rd.
Okay.
And we're planning to have the, invite local authors, and we want to be able to allow them to sell their books.
Okay, and that requires a motion
Yes.
to approve sale of books.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And the next one is to approve state aid funding for summer reading prizes. This is different from what the Friends was supporting.
Yes, the Friends are supporting the carnival expenses.
Okay.
And this was traditionally done, till 2019 at least. Last 2 years, we haven't, I don't think, we haven't used state aid funding for that.
For that.
Actually, the Friends had approved that too, but going back before that, it used to be state aid funds that were used for prizes for
Okay,
the children's program, teen program, and the adult program.
and the adults as well. Okay, so we need is there any discussion on that?
Motion to approve the state aid funding.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll put that money to good use.
Thank you, yes.
And Priya, do you want to address a follow-up regarding the middle school students visiting the library on Friday afternoons? And of course, as we know, this board sent a letter to the middle school administration, which was then shared with parents.
Yes, and that definitely had an effect, the communication with families. And you see fewer students coming into the library on Friday afternoons. And the early release day, they followed our policy says that middle schoolers can stay in the library by themselves for 2 hours. And so they did stay just for 2 hours. And we had adult volunteers near the entrance. Nancy was one of them. And all of the measures that we took have really helped address the problem. So, having the middle schoolers stay in this area and not go to the children's room or disturb others in the library, that helped. Having the adult volunteers, having the teen aides, and talking to them as they come in.
Right.
All of that has helped, and the communication with the families, parents. So,
We love having them here.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's just, as in so many cases, it only takes, you know, one or two to spoil it for others. And, but they seem to be very, very cooperative, and staying in the common area here in the teen room. And, so we want them here.
yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Do you think that helped Mead, just because it's a smaller space, if they just felt?
I do. And of course, and the weather has improved.
Yeah.
So, you know, more,
Dunkin'
yeah,
Donuts.
wouldn't want to be outside on a nice day, you know,
Right.
rather than, so I think that's helped.
And there's no more early release.
I think so,
There's
yeah.
isn't there one more?
I thought
Early
there was one in
release?
May, but when I looked at the calendar today,
And
Oh, it's
apparently
not?
there isn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
much to my kids' chagrin.
so anyway,
Yes.
we seem
Yeah,
to
we do,
have.
we do want to thank the school administrators.
Absolutely,
for
yes, yeah.
sharing the communication
Yeah.
with the families.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just needed to get the word out that, you know, certain behaviors are not appropriate, and, but we want them to come and enjoy
Yes.
the library.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see, what else here? A couple of things. Our next meeting is May 24th, and at that time, in May, once the town elections have occurred, we do have a reorganization of the board. So I ask you to all think about that. And this is Anne Marie's last meeting due to an unfortunate error in her term. Anne Marie, we really thank you for being such an important part of the board, and we look forward to the day when you will be back on this board. And so we will therefore need a secretary. So be thinking about that, please. Deb LeBeau has agreed, if the board so chooses, that she would remain as chair.
Oh, good.
And I'm willing to remain as vice chair, and I'm also very happy to turn it over to anyone else who has an interest. So, and then, of course, treasurer. So, so that will occur at our next meeting. So put your thinking caps on and search your souls. And we'll take care of that at the next, at our next meeting. And that's May 24th as a reminder. Also the dates for the remainder of this calendar year are listed here too. So make sure you have those on your calendar. June 28, September 27, October 25, November 22nd, and December is still a TBA.
Yeah.
Because we've got a few things to consider before we set on a date. So, and you know what, I was remiss, I did want to mention that all of the stats for the month of March, which as always are so impressive. The library loaned over 30,000 books, magazines, movies, and video games to our patrons, and almost 6,500 ebooks and e-audiobooks. So the digital services are being used for sure.
Yes.
We had over 30,000 visitors, and 157 new members. So these are new library patrons in 1 month. I think that's really impressive. We hosted 62 adult, teen, and children's programs and had over 1,200 people in attendance. Delivered almost 700 items via our outreach service, and almost 700 internet sessions in the month of March, and provided Shrewsbury families and individuals with 93 free or discounted passes to area museums. So we're back.
Yes.
People are back to visiting museums, which is
Yes.
great. So it's a busy library, and the numbers prove it. So,
Yeah, last week it was almost like, pre-pandemic days, vacation week.
yeah, that's
Uh,
great.
The
Yeah.
whole day long, there were families in the children's room.
And the
People-
parking lot was busy too.
The parking lot is
when
busy,
I was
yes.
Going by.
I had a question about the usage stats.
Mhm.
The number of visitors and the number of book loans are exactly the same. And I didn't know if that was accurate or if the 30,000 visitors is a lot. I went back to other months, and I know we've had wonky things with the library not being open, but
Yes.
I just.
That's a coincidence, that number.
Exactly.
That is a
I was
coincidence,
like,
yes.
Because every visitor took something out.
Exactly.
Totally
Wow. Well done.
Just
But
one
that, I
month,
mean,
one
it's a lot of visitors, right?
Well, it was, but part of it was school vacation week.
No, because it was March.
Oh,
This was
Yeah, it was
March.
March.
I know, I thought that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So.
was March.
That's a good observation, the numbers are exactly the
Yeah,
I
same.
know.
it went right by me.
Over 1,000 a day.
Wonderful.
That visitors number though, we're back to pre-pandemic.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Hmm.
Okay, is there anything else that we should discuss before we adjourn? There being none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Joan. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.